Hi y'all, this is a 1982 Dan Smith Stratocaster. Obviously it's not the 2-knob, but this is the only Dan Smith Stratocaster of this time that I've ever seen in a transparent red finish. I have seen transparent blue colors, so obviously there was a few transparent guitars made, so I don't know, I just think that's a beautiful finish on a guitar. And the story behind these guitars is Fender had very low quality guitars, and well, CBS, post CBS was making pretty low quality guitars. So what they ended up doing was getting new management in, and they got this man named Dan Smith. He came in for Yamaha and ended up basically shutting down production from 250 to 300 guitars a day back down to just a handful, quote unquote, from what he says. So you can tell the difference in the quality. I have a 79 Stratocaster right there, which I can show you in a second. And in fact, that 79 Stratocaster happens to be my favorite guitar, ironically enough, with people complaining about the quality. But, still a high quality guitar. This is actually a better built guitar, and I will say that. I mean, this guitar I could see selling for like $10,000 in 30 years. I mean, it's already 34 years old. It's got the E2 serial number, and it's got the big 70s style logo, and it's also got the F style tuners, best tuners you could ever get on a guitar. And I had a graphite tree right here, but I was putting some strings on it and it plopped off, so I just put one off of another neck I had laying around the house. And I think these are the smallest necks they made. It's a maple wood neck and fretboard, obviously, and it's also got the Graphtec string saddles. And other than that, it's all stock. I do know that it was outfitted with the 5-way switch, because these came with 3-way switches from what I heard. I know that one did. That had a 3-way switch, but I had that swapped. But this one's all original minus that. It's got the red bobbin pickups is what these are. And it's also another way you can tell this guitar apart from another, like the Dan Smith era Stratocasters and also just the Strat, is these have the truss rod adjustment down here at the bottom like the old pre-CBS Strats, unlike most newer Strats, which have the truss rod adjustment up here, or the bullet truss rod thing, which I'll show you in a second. But other than that, this is a great guitar. I have 11s to 49s on it, 11 gauge strings, and it does good. I mean, it's got some wear and tear on it. That's what happens with 34-year-old guitar. I think that just makes it more beautiful. And as you can see, I've got the 2 springs. If you get it set up right, it will work with 11s. I've never tried it with 12s because I do like playing with 12s sometimes. But with smaller 11s, if you get it set up right, it will hold them, and it's actually a lot better because it's a lot less, it doesn't pull so hard, so it won't knock your guitar out of tune, and it just feels great. It's also got the 6-point bridge, kind of like the old vintage guitars, which this is the real deal. This is vintage right here. It's a beautiful guitar. It's great. Sounds great. I mean, obviously age has done this thing well. But let's move on to the 79 Hardtail. Give me 1 second. Alright, this is the 79 Hardtail. Obviously these guitars originally came with a black pickguard with black pickup covers, but I like a sunburst Strat with a white pickguard and white pickup covers. I think when the guy originally bought this guitar, he put a blade pickup in there because this is 1979. I actually think this is a 78. I say it's a 79 because it's got the S9 logo or serial number, but it's a lower serial number, and it threw off a lot of people because S9 could have been 78 too. And this is one of the first 6,000 built. And there was a lot of these built. So yeah, and then obviously it's got some of that late 80s late 70s early 80s stuff going on here with the brass, but it actually works. I mean, the guitar really resonates, and I mean, it's a very resonant guitar. I'd have to say the red one's got a little more resonance to it, but other than that, these pickups are just, I mean, best things I've ever heard in a guitar. I mean, this blade pickup's pushing about 12 to 13 ohms right here. I mean, that thing is almost as hot as a humbucking pickup. I think it is supposed to be like a humbucker, but I don't know. Motherfucker's mean. I'll give you that. And man, this thing is fucking just beat to hell. I mean, I bought it and it had a bunch of things in it already, but I mean, the paint just chips. I mean, if you look at the thing funny, it's just chips. I mean, it's just the paint job, you know, the way they finished these guitars at this time, you can tell it wasn't the best way of doing it, you know. I mean, look at this thing. But I love it. I mean, I love the wear. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the 3-point neck. It seems flimsy. I really don't like that. But, you know, you gotta live with what you're dealt with. Obviously, it's got that big logo with the big headstock. It's got the F-style tuners. There's a bullet truss rod, which I was talking about earlier. And obviously, it's rosewood fingerboard with maple neck. It's got the pearloid inlays, which I think look pretty good in the neck. Other than that, yeah, I got 11s on this thing, 11 to 49, just like the other one. And this one's got pretty freaking high action, which I like, because I like doing a lot of bends. So, meanest guitar I've ever heard play. So, I appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.